Hi, I'm Pravesh Badjoonauth. I'm the product support manager for Conserve. With PlantPRO, you don't really need to have someone sit down to write any kind of programming, any kind of logic. Everything is in a sort of wizard format where all you do, you hit on one of the configuration buttons there. You'll be presented with the screen where you just put in data. So essentially what you're doing with PlantPRO is getting someone trained up for basic, someone with a basic understanding of HVAC, and all they're doing is looking at the data sheets of, say, the chillers, picking the right information from those data sheets and just fitting that data into the PlantPRO configuration wizard. So from there on, it's just a matter of finding the right information, hitting the next button until you get to the finish button, and that's it. Your whole chiller wizard configuration is done. At no point here has anyone had to sit down and write any kind of programming, any kind of logic. All of that has been done for you in the backend. All that the user is seeing is whatever they can see through the web browser, getting into the wizard, and mostly just data entry. What I have to mention also is that in doing so, definitely we save our customers a lot of engineering time and effort. But on top of that, we wanted a system that could be universally applied everywhere around the world. What that means is that you can configure any type of chiller, and we call that, there's a term that we use which is called agnostic. So by that I mean PlantPRO is chiller brand agnostic, which means that it supports chillers from any manufacturer, whether it be Carrier, York, Trane, all. Well, you name the manufacturer, and PlantPRO supports all these different manufacturers' chillers within the software. We're also compressor agnostic, so whether the compressors are centrifugal, scroll, screw, you name it again, all these different compressors are supported within the program. So the fact that you have this level of flexibility and the ease and user friendliness of the configuration makes PlantPRO a great product. And this is how we've been able to have a lot of traction, both locally here in Australia and around the world. So this is the chiller configuration screen. So as I was saying earlier, this is where you would create the model for the chiller plant. So it's just as easy as if you want to add a water-cooled chiller, for example, or an air-cooled chiller, whether it's an absorption chiller. Again, PlantPRO is agnostic as far as that's concerned. So all you need to do is come here, add a chiller. Say for example, here we've got a setup of 3 water-cooled chillers in the plant room. You could have a combination of water-cooled or air-cooled. All you do is come here, hit the add button, and that will create your water-cooled chiller. If I wanted an air-cooled chiller, I would come down here, hit the add button, and that would add an air-cooled chiller into my system. In this example here, obviously, as I said earlier, we've got 3 water-cooled chillers configured, and it was just as easy as pressing the add button here. And if it's someone doing the initial configuration, all they would need to do once they've added the chiller is hit on the configuration button right here, and they would then go into the chiller wizard screen and be able to add in all the information they need to add in there as well. So now, as I said earlier, we need to create a model of the chiller plant. So with PlantPRO, we support different kinds of piping configurations, whether it be a dedicated configuration of pumping where you have a one-to-one relationship between your pump and your chiller, or whether you have a manifolded configuration, also known as headed configuration, where you have any pump serving any number of chiller. So on this screen here, which is the water circuit configuration, is where we would do this. We will build this model that will tell PlantPRO what sort of relationship exists between the pump and the chillers. Okay, so with this screen here, for example, we can say whether we have a dedicated configuration between our pump and chillers, or a headed configuration, whether we have a chill water system or whether it's a hot water system. So everything here is just done through toggle boxes, and once we've decided what type of circuit should be in the system, or based on what the requirements of the site is, again, it's just as easy as having this correctly configured here and hitting the add button. That will add the correct circuit into PlantPRO. And in this example here, we've got a primary water circuit, which is on the chill water side, the evaporator side, and we've also got a condenser circuit. Obviously, PlantPRO also supports secondary systems, which is not shown in this on this screenshot here. However, all we need to do is come here and go from a primary system to a secondary system. So again, the point here being that it's really easy to set up any kind of system inside PlantPRO, and it's just a simple drop down, a simple toggle box, and mostly just data entry to configure the relationship as well as all the different parameters for staging the pumps, your minimum and maximum speed. Everything can be done through this screen here. On the configuration screens, we can easily access the main menu, which gives us access to all the different pages within PlantPRO to be easily able to configure all the different parameters that are required. Okay, so once we're done with configuring the chillers and the pumps, we move on to the stager, where we configure all our timers, the sequencing, where we set which order we want the chillers to start in, the temperature control, where we select our chill water reset strategies, network configuration, where we do our integration from either BACnet or Modbus, point linking, where once we brought the points in from the networks, we'll link the points into this PlantPRO software. The plant schedule, so if we want PlantPRO to be able to set trading hours, for example, within the system, that can be done in PlantPRO also. Services, where we configure all the site details, user management access levels, IT settings, so if we need to change the IP address of the controller, that can be done through the IT settings page. Commissioning, so once we've set up the system, we've cut over, we've done all our integration work, we want to analyze the system, we want to do some further tuning, and this is where the commissioning page comes in handy. And also we have a couple more pages, the system license, which tells us what are we licensed for, how many units can we control, this kind of information. And obviously from the configuration page we can switch to the dashboard pages simply by hitting the dashboard button.